your idea of relaxation and my idea of relaxation is different. So if I had to like leave my phone down and not do anything, the anxiety of thinking all the stuff that's going wrong or all the things that I need to do is not relaxing for me. Because I'm still thinking of all the stuff that I could be doing right now, and actually doing some stuff and accomplishing it is like more stress relief than anything.
I actually envy people who can vacation without their phone. Like, I envy you guys who can do that. I sit and I look at your stories. I see the couples on Instagram that say, yeah, vacation, we decided to leave our phones at home for the weekend. I would have to go buy a new phone whenever I got to wherever I'm going. I would buy a new phone because, again, that gives me anxiety.
Right.
And I don't know how healthy or unhealthy that is and what it means on a deeper level. I'm sure you guys will let us know in the comments. But that is not relaxing to me. Knowing that I might not use my phone. So we'll go on dates and we may leave our phones in the car. I'm cool with that. We'll go on dates and we may turn our phones over. I am okay with that. We'll have a friend night and we'll say everybody's phone in the middle of the table so that we can be present. So I know how to be present in moments, but telling me, like planning something for me that's supposed to be relaxing and telling me that you're taking my phone away from me for days, the relationship could end. That's how attached I guess I am to my phone, but I don't see it as I'm attached to my phone kind of deal. It's like, I don't know. Like, I just like knowing that in the event of an emergency, I'm available. If somebody should need something, I'm available. And then for me, it's like, what if something happens with me and I need to reach out? Do you know how crazy I would go in an emergency, flat tire, and I don't have a phone? Do you remember how we used to panic back in the day when our phones would die and we're in the car before you had the car charger?
Let me give another perspective of how we might be toxic, though.
It might be.
Yeah. So obviously before a home phone, we're at home. If you call me, great. If I'm out, you leave a message. And then you come home and you check your messages. Is it like somebody who really just they really love cocaine?
My phone is definitely my cocaine.
And when I don't have it, I'm not having a good time. I need a little bit just to like level me out. So, and maybe it's not relaxing for somebody to not have a little bit of cocaine handy. Right?
Yeah.
So the work could be, and I don't know, is building a business just as damaging to a person as an addiction? Attention, coaches, consultants, course creators. If you get paid based off your knowledge, I'm going to tell you something very, very important, okay? What if I could teach you how to make extra 5 to 6 figures every single month using simple Facebook and Instagram ads, all right? Let me tell you about my boy. He got the paid ad playbook. Listen, this paid ad playbook is going to give it to you for free, first off. Marquel Russell, one of the most genuine people I've ever met, he's created over $500 million in client revenue using the paid ad playbook strategy, all right? So listen, go to socialproofgift.com or text proof to 904-447-5274. If you want to get 50 to 100 new client leads every day that actually convert, you need to go to socialproofgift.com or text proof to 904-447-5274. And he's going to give you a bonus video that helps you with a strategy to customize your particular strategy for your particular business. All right, again, socialproofgift.com, text proof to 904-447-5274. Let's get into the episode. Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. No, I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish because last week we talked about, so King Energy is here, as he always here. So he talked about Pluto's alignment and how things are going wrong in your life and things are disrupting people's relationship because Pluto's here and he's leaving. Is he she? She. All right. Oh, all right. So she's leaving.
All right.
Pluto,
don't
the
overdo
planet.
It.
The planet.
Don't overdo it, King.
All right, Pluto's leaving, and it's going to be all good after March 10th.
Yeah, well, so last week we discussed this exactly 7 days ago. And prior to that conversation, me and David got together like, yo, what's going on? And then me and other friends have gotten together just talking, and I'm noticing people are like in distress and despair right now, just not feeling themselves. And then after you said that it had something to do with Pluto being back in its aligned position for the first time in X amount of time, and it's an energy drainer, it's pulling the energy away and it's killing the energy, it's killing the vibe.
Hold on, killing or healing?
Oh, it's healing.
Yeah,
you don't even know what's going on with.
Yeah, it's forcing you to, which is draining.
Yeah, okay. So,
all right, so it's forcing us to deal with problems and issues and things that we hadn't dealt with. So David and I, if you go back and watch the episode right before this one, we clowned King Energy, right? I mean, I was less clowning and more intrigued, but because David was clowning, I had to clown just a little bit. Point is, we just didn't understand. So I go to my esthetician and she's talking to me about things that are going on. I talk to some other people. They're talking to me about some things that are going on. My hairstylist. And so later that night, I text David and I was like, well, before that, because all these people are just kind of telling me how they feel in the moment, I'm like, yo, everybody is just in this negative space where they're dealing with, and the conversation is dealing with these things that are boiling over. So I started to do some research about Pluto. And I talked about the effect of Pluto. I researched the effect of Pluto on your mental clarity, mental energy, focus, all these things. And I found some articles that supported what you said. I screenshot them, circled them, and sent them to David via text and was like, yo, King Energy might be on to something. And so the joking agreement that I have with people who are connected to me that have shared some like things that they're dealing with, I'm like, yo, make no decisions prior to March 10th. Because according to King Energy, March 10th...
And the internet.
Well, I didn't see that on the internet. But according to King Energy, March 10th is when Pluto is making her way out of here. And I guess we'll be misaligned again. She's getting the heck on. And so I'm going to give
because I feel like he's looking at you like, yo, this is all
I'm going to give Pluto a couple of extra days, like a grace period. So because according to King Energy, it goes away on the 10th. I'm not making any major changes in relationships or friendships or anything until March 5th. Like, I'm not eliminating any products that I feel like might not be any offers. I'm not making any big changes until March 15th. So my friends and I are like literally sending one text. March 10th? I'm like, nah, March 15th. We in this together.
Hey
Pluto,
guys,
what's good?
King Energy is spiritual coach. I help entrepreneurs turn their energy into profit.
Pretty sure.
That energy was trash.
I'm pretty sure.
Golly.
I'm really...
He's
No,
zen.
here's the thing. No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Are you high?
So,
is that what happens?
I'm
like,
it's live. I don't use drugs.
Okay. So that's really like people who are really zen, like do CBD and hemp oil and things like that make you. I did hemp oil and it wasn't supposed to according to what they said, but it made me feel high.
Well, here's the thing. It's not about, only because you're King Energy, like you gotta, energy isn't always about like volume or being extra. Sometimes it's, I'm King Energy. Yeah. I help people.
Well, his energy is smooth.
Yeah, but he's not
No,
that's what I'm saying, but it's still, I'm not telling you how to use your energy, but I feel like there's a...
But you are.
There's a relaxed intensity. So it's...
you're missing the intensity.
So there's one where I'm King Energy and I help people heal. Or I'm King Energy, I help people heal.
Let's do it one more time.
Let's just...
Walk away and come back. Let's practice this.
With a name like King Energy, bro, like... There gotta be some...
I mean, I want to feel like...
I need to feel...
Ooh, he King Energy.
But yeah. Right. And
but I want to feel that you're
Pluto's out of...
Pluto is out of alignment. So maybe KE is affecting you too.
Okay, go ahead, bro. And be yourself. It's cool. However you do it, it's fine.
What up, y'all? I'm King Energy, spiritual coach, spiritual healer. I help entrepreneurs.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. That's not even...
Where's that been?
I still want you to be yourself.
Is that you?
That is me.
So then what
different parts of me. Y'all get different parts of me.
Gotcha. Okay.
I I feel like...
Yo, first off, I rocks with King Energy. I want that, like, you my guy. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. So tell us.
Am I on the right track?
So, Pluto is here to help heal. So what's going on is not for you to put anything on pause. You might have things that you need to release and let go of. So if you're holding on to it, after Pluto gets out of this alignment,
I still don't know text messages dying.
It still might come up. It still might come up. So this is the time where you're supposed to heal and you're being guided to heal.
So it's possible that March 11th, I could still be feeling the same stuff.
If you don't pay attention, like if you just like, okay, Pluto is here, I'm putting it to the side. Yes, because it's a buildup.
Well, so what I have been doing is being verbally expressive lately.
Okay, that's good.
I have just been putting it out there. I have been verbally expressing. So I feel like that's dealing and healing, is it? Yeah. Like, I'm not holding it in. I'm just telling you straight up what's up.
Speaking your truth.
I am absolutely speaking my truth.
However it may come out. Some people are not going to understand, but as long as you start to speak your truth and stop holding it in. There's too many times in America, we feel a way, but we don't speak it. Or we never let it out. I understand you don't have to react every time something makes you upset, but you got to let it out some way, somehow.
So if you're not reacting, how are you letting it out?
So responding and reacting is two different things.
Okay, right.
So reacting, okay, if something happens, you respond like, okay, if I react this way, this can happen or that can happen. So I'm gonna be chill right now, but later on, I might go out into nature and hug a tree to release it. Does that make sense?
Aw, do you do
As
that?
an example, or real?
You're a tree hugger?
Yeah, I just started. My boys back in Miami laugh at me, but they're starting to do it now too.
What does that do?
Because the trees give you, like, it helps you with air, it cools us down, gives us shade.
Trees do cool you down.
Everything is spirit. Everything has God in it. Everything has God in it.
This girl.
God is just not in one box. God is everything. And all.
She's here for it.
So you go out, take your shoes off, connect to nature.
I do that.
Dust.
I do that. I do connect.
Yeah.
You go outside and take your shoes off?
Stand on soil, stand on grass, like real grass, or whatever. In fact, we are purchasing a property and there's a tree that I was about to have cut down because I don't want squirrels jumping back and forth on the roof. But I'm going to go hug that tree.
Go hug it.
And the squirrels going to hug your house. You know? They gonna get real comfortable in that attic. I'm just going to trim the
tree back so that I can maintain, like, I'm going to go hug it today, in fact.
Are you going to hug a tree?
I'm going to go hug it and see what it feels like.
You ever hug trees? You hug trees?
Yeah.
You would? You're going to try it?
Because we drink
Should you
water,
be skinned to bark when you're hugging the tree?
Whatever you feel. Let the spirit
tree
listen
hugging?
to the God within you.
You want to do that? You hug trees?
She's looking like, I don't hug trees. I'm not going to hug trees.
Yeah.
Have you seen a tree?
Joe, tree hugger? You hug trees? Grounding, that's it, right?
That's when you're standing, connecting, but so is hugging a tree. Yeah. Imagine just standing on the... I'm going to go outside with my robe on and I'm going to stand on the roots of the tree and get really close to it. And then I'm going to open my robe so nobody can see but the tree. And I'm going to give that tree a hug.
Like what's your situation?
Yeah, I'm going to go skin to bark.
I promise you're going to feel so different. At first, it was weird to me.
Now, if I get bitten by an ant, I'm coming to see you.
It shouldn't be any.
So you do it like half naked too?
Nah, I don't do it.
But I'm saying you take your shirt off and then.
Not right now because it's cold.
Well, think
but you
about,
would in the summer?
I would if I was in Miami or back home in the islands.
Think about how you connect with your baby. And it's skin to skin. Yes. But initially is to transfer that energy. Like when a baby is born, they immediately put it on the chest of a mom or a dad. It's to transfer that energy and establish some type of a connection. It's a spiritual connection. Like we are chemically and spiritually connected. So if you're thinking about this and you are really spiritual on a deeper level, I understand this is really baseline information for you.
No, it's deep. This is...
Yeah, but because I know the power of spirituality through just sound and frequency, I don't know anything about tree hugging, but I am willing to give it a try. I'm about to shake up the neighborhood.
A lot of us always hear about God, and God wants us to experience God.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to experience God, and that's what I do. I help people experience God. I put God into action. Just how Moses lift up the staff, right? He used authority. God was the power. So God wants us to live that way, but we're so caught up in hearing what God did for other people, we don't believe it that God could do it for us. So it's just time to experience God, because God is in the trees. Because the trees help you to breathe. Like, you're bringing in air.
They are oxygen. You do put trees and plants around to improve air quality and oxygen.
I agree.
No, you don't know. You didn't know that.
I do know that.
You did not know
I
that.
do know, like, for sure. Trees provide oxygen. Absolutely.
I was just at your house. I don't remember seeing a single plant.
I don't have a problem breathing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to.
It clears the oxygen and it purifies the air.
You burn sage?
I do.
You burn sage?
Yes, I do.
You burn sage for what reason?
To help clear and raise my vibration.
Mm-hmm.
How is burning sage going to help? Because people they want to like repel the demons and clear bad energy or something like that.
Well, I don't necessarily repel demons.
Isn't that I'm on the right track? That's what people use it for.
So you can use it for just to raise your vibration. It doesn't have to be. It's whatever your thought make it.
So sage is a natural resource. It's a healing herb.
Yeah.
It's just a natural resource that grows out of the ground like a plant. And its intent is to be a healing herb.
But okay. So do you burn weed or burn dandelions or burn? So you're saying
I know people who burn weed and it definitely shifts the energy.
But they're not burning it and then just putting it in their house. They're putting it in their body.
Have you ever been in a room with someone who has smoked weed and you caught contact?
No.
Don't play these games with me right now.
I've not.
Don't play these games with me.
I've not got in a room like, oh, I feel high. I feel like, dang, it's mad smoky in here.
If you stay in it long enough, you will establish contact from the burned marijuana.
Okay. So So who decided that if you burn sage, it clears the energy or raises your vibration? Who decided that?
Our ancestors.
They study what something does. They see, okay, this has
a
pattern.
Who studied it?
So people that came before us, scientists.
Our ancestors.
Who studied it?
Let's look it up. We can figure that out.
We can look it up.
Somebody just tell me who.
It's just like in 2,000 years, somebody's going to say, who studied that Wi-Fi can connect you from point A to point B all over the world?
You can point to a person.
Yeah, well, let's point it out. I'm sure we can look that up.
Okay. All right. So...
And we are more documented in understanding now. We don't know in 2,000 years if our level of understanding now will be the same as it is at that time.
For sure. So, you know what's crazy? I've never burned sage, but I mean, the things that I think I don't deal with a whole lot of, let me put it this way. I've never burned sage. There are people that burn sage. We both have problems and issues in our lives. I don't think I'm any more or less because I do or don't burn sage. It might be a placebo where I feel like when I burn sage, because someone told me when I burn sage, it clears the energy, or if I wear a rock on my neck, who decided that rock is a barrier for unsuccessful things in my life?
Well, according to this quick Google search, it's just a quick Google search, okay? Our ancient Egyptians and Romans started this process many, many centuries ago. It started as an herb that was used to treat ulcers, digestive issues, memory problems, and sore throats. Burning of sage came later with smudging of sage because it was established as a Native American cultural or tribal practice, although it's not practiced by all groups. That's all it says here. It was a tradition created by The smudging was a tradition created by Native Americans, but the use of its healing power was established by ancient Egyptians and Romans.
Yes. So I will not deny that a plant can heal. So the plants heal. Somebody in this community said, yo, we're going to get a bowl and smudge this joint. And now we see people smudging. That's crazy. I've never heard that word before, but I know what it is because you see people like do the little smudge around the bowl. That's smudging, right?
Well, no, that's not. That's the song bowls. Smudging is when you do this.
Muddle.
Think of a muddle.
Okay.
Right?
They decided to smudge or muddle the sage.
Yeah.
And then someone decided, well, smudging it and burning it will do the same thing as the healing of us taking it.
Well, you think on a deeper level. So when you smell things right now, it makes you feel differently. If you walk into a spa and smell peppermints and mints, how do you feel? You instantly feel relaxed. Okay. If you walk into a bathroom behind someone who just had diarrhea, how do you feel? You instantly feel grossed out and maybe angry, depending on the situation.
For sure.
So it is a fact that our senses was activated or triggered by smell. So I don't know that this is fact, but it could be, okay, we've discovered that this sage does something to sick people. As I am treating them, I am noticing that the fragrance from it is making me feel a certain type of way. Let's explore this more. Mm-hmm. Maybe back then, if you broke the leaf, it will release fragrance. Well, fire has been around since the beginning of time. So if I burn it, what happens? Who's to say that that wasn't the process? I noticed that in using it for this purpose, it makes me feel this way. Just like when I was going to the spa avidly, and I noticed that if I weren't feeling well, a little nauseous or headache and things like that, I go into the spa and suddenly my headache is gone. So I went to the spa for relaxation, but over time I realized that that fragrance calms my headaches. So then I started to buy pure peppermint oil and I'll rub it into my temples to relieve a headache.
For sure.
Who's to say that that wasn't the process?
But the way people use it now is that if I burn sage, it releases negative energy or protects my house from negative energy.
So it's said to cleanse.
Okay, outside of what that says.
Right.
You've never seen a whole culture.
I have seen that.
You've seen it, yes. Who decides that when you burn sage, negative energy flees from your environment? Or you wear a certain type of stone on your neck and it protects you from negative vibes.
So I think it's different in different cultures. I think that like that sage healing. Yeah, well, all cultures do that, the burning of sage to release demons and stuff. And that probably came from some type of voodooism or practice like that.
I believe so.
And we probably turned that up.
We definitely turned it up.
I don't know. I don't want to get
they use it in
slaughtered in the comments. But
like the Catholic Church, when they're smoking that sage.
And Catholics have so many idols. It's ridiculous. Absolutely. In the Catholic Church. Which is direct. First off, the Catholics changed the whole, not the whole, but they got their own set of 10 commandments to accommodate the things that they believe. So don't get me started on the Catholics.
No, I'm just saying the church in general. In regular church.
Super weird. It's still super weird, right? Yeah. It's nobody said, or even the God that they believe in didn't say, burn this and all of the negative energy will leave your house. My point is, if somebody's burning sage, if they're using it in a religious practice, they're probably going against their own particular religion, my personal opinion. But I guess the argument is if it makes you feel good and in your head.
Like you said, who says it? Or is it the person? We have God within us. So we choose to give something power or not. Just like the government. If you believe in the government system, that's what works for you. If you
100%.
don't, that's what works for you as well. That's the choice that we have as human beings.
I feel that. Yeah. Listen, if I was going to teach you how to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Like if I had a course teach you how to make $1 million and you're positive, you're going to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Of course you would. It's no brainer, right? So in a calendar year, we make 7 figures with the podcast. But there's 21 things that I extracted from that you're going to need to launch your podcast. But I only got time to give you 3 right now. One is you need a distribution platform. The distribution platform is what you upload your podcast to. That platform sends it to Spotify, Apple, Google Play, so that your supporters can actually listen to your podcast. You're also going to need a microphone. You need a really good microphone so it's crispy audio. And 3, you need an income strategy. This is not necessarily a hobby, unless you're going to make it a hobby. But I can teach you how I made the 7 figures with these 21 things. Now, the good news is you don't have to give me 10,000. My ebook is only $37, okay? So listen, go to podcastebook.com and get the 21 things that you need. And I can explain it in detail, all the things that you need, okay? Podcastebook.com. Let's get to the episode.
I don't know where it started.
So here's my approach. And somebody was like, man, I forgot the conversation, but my reply to it was, everything on my page is my opinion. Everything is my opinion. And obviously for good communication, I mean, a good conversation, we can go back and forth, but I'm not gonna like argue. You know, like people get mad and start arguing their opinion. I can't force someone to believe what I believe. What I believe works for me. What you believe works for you. Now, for the sake of conversation, we can go back and forth and I can't decide that you believing that sage releases energy from your house or releases, protects you in some way. If that makes you feel good or feel protected, some people just have a gun and they feel like them having the gun protects them. Yeah. Like, I feel more confident. I'm good now.
See, the thing what I tell everybody is to see God in everything. So if you have the gun, see God in the gun, whatever it may be. If you got sage, see the power of God in that sage to clear it out. You don't do it absence of God. You put God in everything that you do. Even the water. I pray over the water and I put God in the water.
But it is witchcraft though.
What? Putting God in everything?
Ooh, I think it's witch.
Or putting God in everything.
So for instance, depending on the God you believe in, right? Whatever God you believe in probably has a certain set of standards where some people give praise to the universe. I thank the universe for it. But typically the God that people believe in maybe wouldn't be pleased with them praising something that they created versus the creator himself. Yeah. So if we're saying this is what protects me, for me in my church, there's no crosses in our church because the Bible talks about how it's an idol. If you believe that this cross saves you, like in those horror movies where you hold up the cross and it's supposed to repel demons, God said don't make anything out of wood or stone that represents me. That has no power. The cross has no power and it becomes an idol. People have been praying to crosses for decades in the church. The guy that wrote the Bible or the one that people believe in, directly, there are direct scriptures that say you shouldn't honor or pray to anything, but they'll have the big cross in the front and they're going to kill me in the comments. Oh my gosh. The Christians are going to kill me. And I'm a Christian. But it's an idol. First off, they killed Jesus on a cross and we use the cross as something to remember. If somebody killed somebody in your family with a knife, are you going to wear a knife around your neck? You're going to hang knives in your house? That's crazy. It was an execution tool. But if we look at the history on how we started to use the cross, it was an idol and we're using it for protection. My point is, whatever you're using to protect you becomes your God. So if you believe sage burning in your house is protecting you, sage is your God?
No, cleanse.
No,
not protect.
Not everybody.
People use protection though for sage.
Certain things, yeah.
Are condoms your God?
You want to use it for.
Because it protects you.
I just don't see validity in that comment. I don't believe that the things in the physical that God allowed his people to create are my God because I believe it's my protection.
When it comes to worship though.
Well, when it comes to worship, That's different. I can't think of a time that I've ever. Well, it was a valid point.
I look at everything as a tool. Just how we use
people worshiping dang on condoms, especially after the fact when that period is missed. Oh my God, we had the condom. We used it. I promise, we used it.
Oh my goodness!
People are definitely worshiping Plan Bs.
So. Y'all crazy.
Oh, you want to talk?
Water?
I might have worshipped the Plan B a time or two.
I'm sorry. All right. Anyway. All right. Can we? How was your week? Thank you so much, King Energy. I appreciate it.
Thank you, King Energy.
How was your week?
I got tears. My week was really, really good. Oh yeah, I had a good week this week. I have been so uber productive this week. Like more than, did I tell you that? More than probably the whole year. I've had a really, really good week. I brought my operations manager in town this week to work with me in person so we could knock out some really big projects. So we've been working together in person to knock out some projects. And yeah, that's about it.
So have you felt better this week?
Yeah, I actually have been feeling better this week.
And it's not even the 10th.
It's not even the 10th. Now, I'm not like over the hump, right? But I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Good.
Like before, it was like all I could focus on was what is wrong? Like, where's this coming from? What's wrong? And now I am like, I think this is getting better. Like, we can navigate this. This is not abnormal kind of feeling. You keep choosing to drink this poison.
I love this water. It tastes so good.
But you read the ingredient. You know why it tastes good because of all the poison that's in it.
It's not poison. It's ionized hydration.
Right. Read the ingredients.
It's purified water with electrolytes for taste. I like the water.
Let me see your ingredients.
What if I started looking at everything you put in your body?
Let's look at these ingredients.
You know what I mean? Like she's like judging my water, but beyond the Henny. You know what I mean? Like who's worse? Have you looked at the back of a Hennessy bottle?
First of all, you ain't ever and will never see me drink Hennessy. No.
What?
No, I am.
You ever seen her like a little loose?
You have never seen me a little loose. You have never in your life seen me a little loose.
You're right.
Have you?
But alcohol.
Oh no, Miami was a little loose.
Yeah, alcohol is way worse than this.
I don't drink alcohol like that. You're consuming this all day, every day.
It's water.
But it's not a good brand of water.
You eat Church's chicken, fam.
I do not eat Church's chicken.
You will not come at my choices of things I put in my body. Anyway, thanks for asking. My week was cool.
So, David, how was your week?
It was good.
Give me a highlight.
My daughter is amazing. Golly, she's so
about to be
beautiful.
one.
She's about to be one. She's just so happy. She's so like clingy and connected to me. I can hold her, and if I put her down and walk away, she cries.
That's interesting.
If I give her to even like, I'm not gonna say my wife, but if I give her to somebody else and I walk away, she cries.
I did not have that experience.
When?
I was just there at your house.
Yeah.
And I put her to sleep. She was calm. She
was crying for a little bit.
She was happy.
She was crying for a little. At first.
She was crying because of the dog.
I don't know. But yeah, she like literally.
She does love you so much.
She loves me, man. She does. And I have not, I don't think I've, stop. I don't think I ever had, I never had someone need me and love me and want me so much. So like outside of like, my wife or my mom, like they love me, but she literally relies on me for her well-being and her happiness.
Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel amazing. It makes me feel important. It makes me feel that there's somebody in this world who needs me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it makes me feel worth. That's why I could never like do something to harm myself where I would, anything that I decide to do, I would never do something that's going to compromise my ability to be in her life because she needs me too much.
Mm-hmm.
So That's amazing. We got our certificate of occupancy for the new studio.
Congrats.
Tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, Friday, in a couple of days, we go to New Orleans and we're closing on I think it's a 6-unit.
This is the one with Terica?
Yeah. Yep, 6-unit property right in the French Quarter.
Strong. What's the plan for it?
Airbnb.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think we're gonna tear down the whole thing and just build it up new. But that's really exciting. Been looking at land and properties and stuff like that. And just
like daily.
I'm
on it daily.
Every single day.
Yeah.
So actually I was just talking to Terica. We got some land around the corner that's under contract waiting for the survey to come back, where it'll be an event space at the bottom, and then we can go up 6 stories. So I guess 5 units above. Well, 5 floors. So hopefully we can put 2 units on each floor when we go above. Huh? Here or there? What do you mean? No, this is land literally around the corner in Doraville. Yep, it's been under contract for like 30-something days. We're just waiting for the survey to come back. And then I'm putting in another contract on some land in Lakewood.
David is playing Monopoly.
What are we doing? What are we doing right now?
You manifested this day.
Did I?
You have been a lover and an obsessor over Monopoly for years, for as long as I have known you.
I want to play today. You want to play?
Even before, I can play later.
Okay.
I can play tonight.
What time?
I can play after 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up?
You have been like, you want to play Monopoly? You want to play Monopoly? Let's play Monopoly. I want to play Monopoly. I dominate at Monopoly. That is, nobody can see me in Monopoly. You have been saying this for years. And now you're playing Monopoly.
It's so dope because in the game, like there's strategy, right? So you pick up a property, you pick up some like different color sets, and you have to literally work the room to get your own color set. So if I have a yellow, you have a yellow, and Joe has a yellow, I have to figure out how to get all 3 yellows by giving you some sort of color set or almost getting you there or making a deal attractive. And then like building up strategically where you got some cash, but you're waiting for somebody to land on your property. Do you go all in with your bread or do you keep some just in case you got to land on somebody else so you don't got to take the property down? It's just an amazingly wonderful game that teaches you a lot about entrepreneurship and people because you got to work the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for entrepreneurs, or I think as entrepreneurs, we see the entrepreneurial lesson or business lesson in everything. In everything. Like I can look at everything. Remember Kenny was telling you the other day, like even in my dog, who's blind, who's had major life-threatening surgery and, you know, just how he's so resilient and he keeps bouncing back. And no matter what happens to him so far, he's going to show up and he's going to perform. Even with his head tilted, he's still going to handle his business and do what he has to do. But there's a lesson in everything. And I think we grow. I think people grow further. Like people can shoot past you. We can start at the same level and shoot past one another based on how we interpret our experiences and the things around us.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
it was her dog came to my house and Brandon was actually mad. He was like, yo, you hate dogs. You let her bring it out. But you sent me the video of Sarai like playing with the dog and all that kind of stuff. But the dog is blind, so he'll walk around and hit his head on every wall. It's like, doop. And then he's like, oh, he'll keep walking, then go into, like, he's just going to keep walking and then doop. He just keeps hitting his head. And Kenny was like, yo, entrepreneurs can learn so much from solo. Some people, if you can't see where you're going, you would just stay still.
Yep.
I can't see it. So, I mean, there's a couple different, we can have a whole conversation about solo, but I think because we're not like blind dogs, right? And even though it might be clouding in your head where I don't see exactly where I'm going, but we should at least go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's better to jump into real estate, jump into personal development, jump into like something that allows you to experience what it's like to hit your head up against a wall. But the difference between us is we can actually chart our course and we can see the wall like, oh, nope, I ran up against that wall. I hired too fast. I put too much money in my business. I didn't put enough money into marketing, right? And we can continue to bump our head because that's all we've done, right?
That's all we do. Bump our heads and we jump in, bump our heads and change direction. And the cool thing is the faster you become excited or the more excited you become about bumping your head, the faster you can get to clearing the obstacle. Right. So I don't think we ease into anything. We just go all in. Let's just go. What are we doing?
Here's the sauce though. So the reason I can like keep putting these joints under contract is because I partner with Terica, where this is all she does. Mm-hmm. She does not lose in real estate. Mm-hmm. So I don't know a whole lot. I know like area, like what we can do with it and all that kind of stuff. I have that vision where I can like be in my gift in that. But every deal I send to Terica. Mm-hmm. And we part every deal, mm-hmm. right? So that's going to be the hack. Like jump into something, but find somebody that like, that's all they do.
Yeah.
You feel me? I invested one time with a person who kind of did real estate and I lost my money. Because they do real estate and all kind of other stuff. She not even into like coaching and teaching like that. I'm ushering her into that. Mm-hmm. She not even into that. She like, yo, I got 400 doors. I got 400 units. That's all I do. So if somebody wanted to get into podcasting, they need to come
see you. I want to invite you to pick my brain.
Mine too. Mine too.
Yours too?
Mine too.
Yours too. Okay, you guys. We are so excited because we just dropped our newest podcast series called the Brain Picker Podcast. David.
Oh, it's going down. You get to pick our brain. You have a business idea, a concept. You're stuck. You can't get off the ground. You need the advice of seasoned, experienced entrepreneurs. Not only entrepreneurs that are practitioners, but we got a lot of people that we've been coaching all over the last decade.
All over the globe.
They got receipts.
Not just that, you never know where your next investor might be hanging out. And the word on the street is we got all the connections.
That's a big fact.
We got all the connections. So if you want to sit down with us and pick our brains.
In front of our audience.
And we're letting you pick our brains. We won't even talk bad about you for doing it in front of our audience, bringing your business maximum exposure. Find the link somewhere around here, wherever you see it.
It's there.
And apply
right now
to pick our brain.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Or Donni, you know what you're doing.
I kind of know. I know a little something.
Or like, if they want to...
I got a camera and feel like I'm a professional. Yo, come to the house. I got you. Right. I walked somebody through eCam the other day.
If somebody's smart, if they want to be a coach, they will come to Donni and say, hey, I want to be a coach, mm-hmm. but I want to partner with you on my coaching program. Mm-hmm. If they're smart.
If they're smart.
Some people will, if they're confident, they'll say, let me just pay you to coach me to do it myself. But if they're thinking on a whole nother level, they're going to say, Donni, I got this amazing program. I built this business and now I want to coach on it. Take me under your wing, kind of supervise some of the stuff that I'm doing, and you'll get a percentage and your income will be tied to how big this thing goes. Yep. That would be the approach for somebody that's really
forward thinking.
Smart.
Yeah.
But we're so tied to this is mine and I want this.
Yeah. I even had to grow out of that space too. Because collaboration, I'd always wanted to collaborate, right? But earlier, I was more successful at whatever I did by myself. Mm. Like, I want to collaborate so badly that it's causing me to not be as successful as I could be. And then when I will branch off and do things by myself, because my work ethic, David, my work ethic is like nobody else I know, not including you, or Kenny. My work ethic is there's just a handful of us that I could say they match my work ethic.
For sure.
My work ethic is something different. So in some of the circles that I'm in, the way that I work seems obsessive. And maybe it is obsessive, but I would not be happy not doing it.
Yeah.
This brings me joy. Like taking a vacation and being complete. Like I'll say things like, I'm going somewhere and I'm not doing any work, right? My idea of not doing any work might be
doing a little work.
Like doing work, like what other people would consider work, isn't work to me. Like, I do this. And you do need a break. My idea of not doing any work would be like not fooling around in technical stuff, right? Where I don't have any business doing that. I might take a vacation and let my clients know that, hey, we're not meeting this week. No meetings this week. That's not doing any work. But when I'm somewhere, I am mapping out the rest of my year. I'm brainstorming about, as soon as I get back, this is what I want to do first. And to other people, that's work. For me, it's just like living.
And but people will try to judge you like, oh, you're not working. But your idea of relaxation and my idea of relaxation is different. So if I had to like leave my phone down and not do anything, the anxiety of thinking all the stuff that's going wrong or all the things that I need to do is not relaxing for me. Because I'm still thinking of all the stuff that I could be doing right now, and actually doing some stuff and accomplishing it is like more stress relief than anything.
I actually envy people who can vacation without their phone. Like, I envy you guys who can do that. I sit and I look at your stories. I see the couples on Instagram that say, yeah, vacation, we decided to leave our phones at home for the weekend. I would have to go buy a new phone whenever I got to wherever I'm going. I would buy a new phone because, again, that gives me anxiety.
Right.
And I don't know how healthy or unhealthy that is and what it means on a deeper level. I'm sure you guys will let us know in the comments. But that is not relaxing to me. Knowing that I might not use my phone. So we'll go on dates and we may leave our phones in the car. I'm cool with that. We'll go on dates and we may turn our phones over. I am okay with that. We'll have a friend night and we'll say everybody's phone in the middle of the table so that we can be present. So I know how to be present in moments, but telling me, like, planning something for me that's supposed to be relaxing and telling me that you're taking my phone away from me for days, the relationship could end. That's how attached I guess I am to my phone, but I don't see it as I'm attached to my phone kind of deal. It's like, I don't know. Like, I just like knowing that in the event of an emergency, I'm available. If somebody should need something, I'm available. And then for me, it's like, what if something happens with me and I need to reach out? Do you know how crazy I would go in an emergency, flat tire, and I don't have a phone? Do you remember how we used to panic back in the day when our phones would die and we're in the car before you had the car charger?
Let me give another perspective of how we might be toxic, though.
It might be.
Yeah. So obviously before a home phone, we're at home. If you call me, great. If I'm out, you leave a message. And then you come home and you check your messages. Is it like somebody who really just they really love cocaine?
My phone is definitely my cocaine.
And when I don't have it, I'm not having a good time. I need a little bit just to like level me out. So, and maybe it's not relaxing for somebody to not have a little bit of cocaine handy. Right?
Yeah.
So the work could be, and I don't know, is building a business just as damaging to a person as an addiction?
It's an addiction for sure. I think that, yes. Dang. I think that there are stages in which people are building their businesses through like they got to get a hit. It's an addiction and it's a dangerous obsession. But there are also healthy obsessions. And I don't think that I am building my business from a place of unhealthy obsession at this time. I just don't. Like, I will break away. I will spend days where I do nothing that I don't want to do, right? So I don't know. Maybe I'm toxic.
We're toxic.
This is bothering me. I'm triggered. No, I think.
And it was like, I was like that, like even before Pluto came. You know what I mean?
Me too. Now, let me tell you this. I am obsessive.
I'm sorry, Brad.
I am obsessive over anything that I love. So like you right now, the way you feel about your daughter, Sarai, I was the same way with Deja. I love being a mother. And her growing up, I loved her needing me. I loved somebody to take care of. I think Deja saved my life a few times, and she certainly was the catalyst for improving my life, right? And then I remember starting to feel her senior year of high school was really difficult for me because it was the last. Like, it's like, this is the last parent-teacher conference. This is the last dance recital that I'm going. She danced even, her senior year. This is the last of everything. And it's this world of now I have to let her choose to go to a completely different state and go to college. And even the first year, maybe the first 2 years, she's a junior now. The first year I was depressed. Like, I was done for, because at first she would call and then she'd forget to call. And then it'd be, okay, I'm a couple hours late calling. And I could just see the gap getting wider and wider and wider. And I remember people telling me when she was small to have a healthy obsession with your child, because one day they're going to go and grow and get their own lives, and you are going to be left stuck in this feeling, right? People would tell me, no, Donni, you should date. You should do this. You should do things with your life. And I'm like, no, it's all about my daughter. And they'd be like, wait, because as soon as she's gone and has her own life, you're going to leave and feel empty. And so that's how I felt as a parent, so much so that I will do it all. I desire to do it all over again. That's how much I love being a mother, to nurturing something that needs me. I'm the same way in my business. Like, I love this. And even though sometimes this brings me a little bit of overwhelm, I'm going to start another business with you and then another bit. Like, this is it's just in me. And if I didn't have these things, if I never had my daughter, if I never had my businesses, I could not imagine what my life would be. It's like, I look at people who have nothing, so to speak, right? And they agree that they have nothing. I look at people who feel like, I don't have a purpose. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't have people, like, I don't have friends. I don't have family. And I just feel so bad for them. Like, I could not imagine not having stuff that I'm responsible for. And I don't know, is that healthy? Is that toxic? What is it?
I don't know. I think the way I lead my life is, the goal is to be happy, but not overindulge in the things that make me happy.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously being an entrepreneur makes me happy, but obviously there's a line of overindulging, right? Do I always want to stop working and spend time with my family? No. You judging me?
Oh, a little bit.
I don't. But sometimes I will put it all down and just spend time with my family. So me chasing the thing that makes me happy 24/7 could be super toxic. Mm-hmm. It could be detrimental to my family. It could be detrimental to my health. It could be detrimental to my my relationships with people. So a lot of times, we do this. This is work, kinda.
Is it though?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's work.
We're having conversations that we would normally have privately, publicly.
Correct. But we have to be here at a certain time. We do it for a certain amount of time. But we're very conscious of always figuring out, where's the date night?
We are.
When are we going to get together? When are we going to just hang out? So we do that too. But I don't know. King Energy would probably say,
hug a tree. Hug a tree. And let the energy from the tree guide your path. Sorry, tree huggers. I'm not making fun of you guys. I'm going to try it.
Is tree hugging a thing? Is that a culture?
There's a whole festival for tree huggers.
No way. What?
I'm sorry. Come again?
People have what with trees?
I'm looking that up right now.
Yeah, I need to look that up.
I mean, because that sounds painful. People do? Joe said people. Okay, whoever looks at my Google search history.
I'm not searching that one. But I'm going to say tree hugger society.
People have sex with trees. I am Googling it for the record, just in case, for the feds.
That hurts. That got to be painful, though.
It's called dendrophilia.
Let me see it. How you know, Joe?
What does your YouTube
He's
search
like,
look
yeah,
like?
it's digitrophilia. You know what I'm saying? They be like, how you know, Joe?
People are sexually attracted to trees. Oh, because I'm thinking, well, this picture shows like the root bottom of the tree and it looks like a booty in that photo. So maybe they're looking at it and
wow. There is it's called erotic experience with nature.
No.
I wasn't speaking of that.
King Energy, what do you have us doing over here?
That's
I take it back. I'm not hugging no damn
Look
trees.
at Donni. That's crazy. All right, I can see because you just took it there too with the I'm gonna take my robe and I'm gonna open it up and I'm just gonna like feel it. That's crazy. Because if you start liking it and it's like a stimulant, you become
if y'all
the person
see me
on
in my
Google.
front yard doing this.
Wow. So, okay. But anyway, see, that's the thing. Like, it's just, all right, what is a tree hugger personality? Typically, those concerned with protecting the earth and its resources have been dismissed and branded as overly emotional and irrational tree huggers. When we call someone a tree hugger, the image conjured in our minds is that of a crunchy, natural deodorant wearing white hippie who quite literally hugs
Crunchy?
trees.
Why he gotta be
I didn't use
crunchy
that. That's just
though?
Google. Oh, you know what? Tree hugger is a derogatory term.
Well, I don't know because there's a tree huggers ball. There's a tree huggers fest.
Dang.
There's a tree huggers planting festival.
Look, it says, why is tree hugger a derogatory term? In some regions, the terms hippie and tree hugger are sometimes used interchangeably, along with the pejorative dirty hippie. When these terms are used as epithets, that's epithets. They are often meant to describe people with values which are viewed as naive, obstructionist.
Dave is not the classmate you want to read out loud.
Or simply irritating. All right, so, okay, for everybody that we call tree huggers, we're sorry.
I am not sorry. People who hug trees are tree huggers.
That's like Joe Rogan saying, never mind. It's a derogatory term. You've got to apologize for using a derogatory
slang,
term.
what I saw. It didn't say derogatory, it said slang.
But
okay,
anyway,
I'm sorry
people,
too.
okay,
whatever.
Well, so, here's the lesson, I believe, that people take things to the extreme. Maybe we take things to the extreme. People, maybe not, some people may understand the healing properties of sage, and they take it to the extreme where as soon as somebody leaves their house, they got to sage that joint.
I know people like that, and I stay away. That is weird to me. I think that
real quick, I'm sorry. I just got to ask this question because I don't want to. Okay, go ahead. No, okay, let me ask the question first. The bowl thing, I see that.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? You be doing it? You do it? I can't.
Of course
he's like the third member of this podcast for the last couple.
Yes. We need to have him on board as our consultant.
Since we're made of 70% of water and the earth is made up of 70% of water, it helps release any blockages throughout the body because water with frequency, you see the waves in the water. Am I making sense? Do y'all follow?
And you have slow waves, you have fast waves.
Yes.
Rivers move at certain frequencies.
Our body, like rap music, it makes you feel a way, right? Mm-hmm. Or if you listen to R&B, it makes you feel another way, more chill or rock. So our body reacts through vibration, basically. Mm-hmm. So that helps with clearing up any energy, any blockages within your body, because your body is always in a flow, right? Your heartbeat has a flow, your lungs has a flow. And if you're not breathing right, that can help loosen you up. Because if you're in your mind all the time, like I have a lot of people in my meditation, they're like, well, I can't focus on my own. So the sound helps you relax and tune back in.
Okay. I honestly didn't know what that.
That's not witchcraft.
Yeah, it's not. It's just
sound. I didn't know what it was.
It's intentionally tuning your physical frequency into the spiritual frequency that you wish to be in. Because everything, you cannot dispel the fact that sound creates certain feelings inside of you.
I agree with that 100%.
That's frequency. So when people use a sound bowl, they're creating a certain sound at a certain frequency to force their energy to shift in a particular direction.
I didn't even know it was a sound bowl. I just see the bowl with the little stick joint, and it's like...
It'll change your frequency.
Okay.
That's what
and there's music that uses it as a main instrument.
Yeah. That uses the sound bowl?
Yeah, like you'll listen to like Indian music, but even in hip hop music, they use different sounds. I mean, a tambourine and a sound bowl aren't different. They just eject different emotions.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just didn't know I didn't know it was used for sound. Okay, now it makes sense because you're doing it and you're just trying to get in a soothing.
Yeah.
And it's like drums, right? Why do we like drums so much? Because it takes us back when we're in the womb listening to our parents, our mother's heartbeat. So that's why we love drums so much. It's the same.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, different cultures, we the only ones like that, though.
Well, because we are. Yeah.
So why is it that I was...
Because our hearts
But I was going to say something...
different.
Huh?
Our hearts pump different. I don't know.
So what? Other cultures...
He's really receiving it like, man, she's on to something. I was joking.
But that's like saying, oh, like other cultures, their hearts beat off beat or something like that.
Oh, weak beats.
They come out the womb off beat.
But you know we set the trend as a people.
But, think about Asian culture where meditation and spirituality is like really, really practiced openly. Mm-hmm. And you think about Asian culture who, all cultures do the healing practices. But when you think about people go to Asia in places like that for meditation, for sound healing and things like that. So maybe their day-to-day practices, they're around those frequencies so much that things like drums wouldn't be present to them because their bodies, or prevalent for them because their bodies are doing something different based on their predominant energy source, right? But I know, like, I listened to a lot of Jeezy.
Okay.
I also listened to a lot of contemporary and classical music. So maybe that's why my child is kind of all over the place. She likes all kinds of sounds because I didn't know. People said play the classical music to make them really smart. But then I was like really conscious about, I want her to be really smart, but I want her to be really hip too, really relatable. So Jeezy was good today. We did different things. You know what I mean? So I get where you're going with it, but you're taking it too far for me right now.
Yeah, but he said we like drums because we heard our parents.
Well, think about the ultrasound. When you hear the ultrasound, doom, 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 doom.
I feel that, but not every culture is into drums like that.
They are to a certain extent, because even the rockers, right? The rock band.
Is it drums or bass?
It's the bass, it's the drums. It's the sound.
Because I'm talking about a bass, a string bass ejects that same type of vibe. Bass drums, bass horns, if that's a thing.
He was reaching a little bit. It was a little reach.
Now, come on, King Energy. Facts only.
It was a little, come on. Yeah, he's doing good, man. But that was a reach. But I do agree with music changing. And now that I know that the bowl is it's producing a sound that's supposed to be more relaxing and helping. Okay.
So how about this? I'm going to do a event with sound bowls. Only if y'all open to it. Mm-hmm. I would love to have y'all.
Here's the thing. It ain't going to be just sound bowls. And I can't get you with it. Because it ain't going to be just sound bowls. There's going to be all kind of stuff going on.
I'm just sitting still and meditating.
So I am very, very intentional when I meditate and I plug into frequency. And I prefer to qualify the room, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's not just what's coming from that sound bowl or that meditation, but it's also, I don't know who I have around me. And I don't do witchcraft, right? So, but there are people who do witchcraft that are into sound bowls and healing frequencies. So I would love to learn more about your group. I can't just agree to go.
It's not a group, it's me.
Oh, it's just you.
Yeah, I'm the one that...
You borderline witchy, though. I'm just kidding.
Yo, you know what's
crazy?
Got me
out here hugging trees.
You know what's crazy? I actually met a witch. I was in Arizona, actually at this mastermind, and like she was like, "Yes, I do witchcraft, of course." And it was just
a person who does witchcraft is a witch. Is that what makes you a witch?
She called herself a witch.
That's what I'm asking.
She called herself like a sorcerer or something like that.
But you know the name witch comes from wise woman.
See, I told you. It
comes from.
So what's the male witch called?
It's called
sorcerer.
Yeah.
Are you a sorcerer? Nah. So she told me she's a sorcerer. So it was crazy. It was. Oh. Let me not use the word crazy. Because I use the word crazy as like, wow, it's just amazing. So don't. I wasn't called it crazy. Yeah. So it was wild. So
don't use the word wild. Saying,
how can I?
It was different.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And probably how she was saying it like it was normal. You like.
Real normal.
Yeah. I don't know if I could have had a conversation once somebody told me they were a witch.
No,
and
it was
might be based on the fact of what TV has shown me a witch to be.
No, it was at the end of the conversation where she revealed that this is what she's doing. Because I'm like, it's a group of us. And a couple of those people said, because she like heals entrepreneurs or something like that by dealing with past something or issues. Huh?
Past lives?
Nah.
Okay.
Have a seat, King.
yeah. Go sit down.
Have a seat.
Yes, you do too much. You do too much.
Past lives.
So,
yo,
we got into like all type of conversation.
Hey, Ouija board.
This is what happened. This like true story. So we're there, and it's a couple people that she had worked with, and she works with people on a certain level, and then she said when they're ready, they do psychedelics. And
like eating mushrooms and stuff?
Mushrooms, Molly, all that stuff.
Oh.
But it's not a drug experience. It's release. You're separating yourself from yourself so you can kind of see and go into another realm. It was different, right?
Did it make you want to try it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But again, culture, all of them had, the one guy was like, it was a pharmaceutical term that they use. And the guy was like, you know, in these healing practices, it's called this, whatever that pharmaceutical. He's like, but when you're at a party, it's called Molly. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. Anyway, so this is before so they're just talking like service level. I help entrepreneurs kind of like deal with, past hurts and things of that nature so they can succeed as entrepreneurs. I'm like, and she's talking about it and I just didn't understand it. I couldn't get it, but she had some clients there and they were trying to explain. I said, I don't understand. She's like, yo, I can help you. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm thinking this is going to be like a therapy session.
No.
No lie, I'll tell you. So I'm there. It's crazy. Hold on.
Can you imagine the moment in which you realized?
I tell you, she's like, yo, I can work with you right now. I'm like, bet, run it. Like, I'll rock with you. So she's, I'm not making this up.
No.
So she says, she said, you can either hold out your hand or not. I'm like, I'm not. And so this is exactly what happened. So she closed her eyes. She closed her eyes, right? She says, no, y'all think I'm making this up. I promise you I'm not. I promise you I'm not. Yo, I'm telling, this real life happened. And she said, are you, she said, there's something in your throat right now. She said, there's some energy in your throat right now. I should have paused her for sure. But what's wild is I start swallowing. I'm like, yo, I feel a little something.
Oh, anybody got water? Anybody got a little water? You started feeling stuff in your throat.
She's like, that's energy. It's something you got to deal with. It's not allowing you to like express yourself as an entrepreneur. I said, I'm done. Ma'am. I said, I was like, okay, well, okay. And it just got weird. It just kept going. And I was like, I was actually praying, like, I hope I'm not. Anyway, that was kind of like some of the stuff that she does. And she'll touch people and like feel them and get like they vibe and find like what's going on in their past. And at the end of the conversation, we have like some more drinks or whatever. Well, she had some more drinks. And what?
We had more drinks of
I
what?
mean, we're all at the table. And
but were you ordering from her stash of drinks?
I was not ordering. Actually, she pulls out this.
No.
It was like a little jar. It was like water that's supposed to help you do something. It's like natural healing. You know, it has the little dietary supplement. And I'm like, she's like, yeah. And everybody tried it. I'm like, I'm straight. But after that conversation, she has a couple more drinks and she starts talking about how she does do witchcraft and she's a sorceress. Sorceress? Sorcerer. Yeah, something like that. Then we started talking about like past life. And she says, I cannot make this stuff up. So she says, She said.
She said.
Yeah. So you had a past life?
I feel like
it's not just one life. Okay. All right, that's cool. So, I mean, you're a sorcerer a little bit.
I don't know.
A little bit. I mean, but some people might consider you. So anyway, she said, for some reason, we started talking about the afterlife. And she says, I'm like, okay, so what happens when you die? And she's like, well, I've been there.
This is making me very uncomfortable. I am very uncomfortable. David, and you had a connection with this woman.
I didn't have a connection with anything. I'm interviewing. Right? So I was like, okay, so what happens? She was like, it's nothing. It's nothingness. She said, actually, nothing that we're looking at right now is anything. It's all nothing. It's all nothing. And when you die, it's just an unexplainable nothing. But I'm like, there's something there. She's like, no, it's nothing. But are you there? She said, yes, I'm there. You're something. No, I'm nothing. Even like this, the only thing that matters is the moment. And then it just got so all over the place. And then, I gathered this story for this podcast. You got to go to the mic. Do we need King Energy at the mic? He's a sorcerer. I didn't know.
I'm not that, guys, okay? I'm a follower of Yeshua. So
I'm sorry, who?
I'm a follower of Yeshua. For those that don't know, that's Jesus.
Oh.
So
I thought it was Yeshua.
Yeah.
I pronounced that word differently. I'm sorry.
No
we're on the same track again.
But when people take medicine for headaches and stuff, that's witchcraft. You know that, right? Because
anything synthetic, yes.
So they go in the lab.
Well, I don't know that it's witchcraft. I know that it's modern medicine. And I know that some demons are behind modern medicine.
Absolutely. There you go.
Some demons are behind modern medicine?
Absolutely.
That's all I had to say.
Certain types of medicine.
Thanks,
I mean, to cure your headache, we're going to fix the headache, but you might end up with heart failure and kidney failure, and but we'll fix the headache.
No. Well, okay. If you take some Tylenol for a headache, obviously it has some side effects, but like side effect. If you're hungry, that's like, yo, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to cure the hunger, but it might make you fat.
There are some pharmaceutical demons. I
can agree with that.
There are chemists and companies who've hired chemists and scientists that put you on medication to be addicted to this medication for a constant need, and then you'll need other medication, and it's a strategy. It's a value ladder. Let's get them on this because we know in 2 years they're going to need this, and now we have a lifelong person paying us money.
That's what they do at chips.
Oh, absolutely. Food, that's drugs. It's drugs.
Yeah.
That's why you like that water so much.
Did we talk about entrepreneurship at all today?
We did.
A little bit?
We did talk about
real estate.
We
addiction.
We talked about addiction. And to wrap that up, I don't feel like what you or I do and how we operate in our business is necessarily a dangerous addiction at this point. I think that once our friends and family or even ourselves begin to notice that we're so in tune to this, that we're out of tune from everything else. We don't know what's happening around us. We're missing moments unknowingly, because you can intentionally choose to miss a moment because I'm in this season. But we're out of tune. We aren't showing up. We're not taking care of ourselves the same way. At that time, I think that you have to start saying, okay, there's a problem with this. But I think what we're doing right now is simply building our startup businesses. And this is the energy that in my business, it takes right now.
Yeah, for sure. So we're good?
I think we're good.
We're good. We're doing. Y'all think we're all right? We're all right. We're not.
Do we seem like unhealthy, overly obsessed entrepreneurs to you guys?
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
You were about to say something, Joe?
Mike.
Man, this... Thanks, Reese. That's the loudest I've ever heard him talk. That's crazy. He don't never raise
He
his
has a voice.
Right.
To Donnie's point, it happens with people in corporate as well.
Yeah.
So they're working all the time. They forget about their kids. They forget about, their spouse and things like that. They forget about taking care of themselves, but nobody ever says, something's wrong with you. But because you're working hard on your business, now it's like, you're doing too much. You're thinking too much. You made it to this point. Isn't that good enough? But people climb the corporate ladder all the time. And this is what they do. They say, my job first. This is what I'm going after.
You know what's interesting? People get to a certain place in corporate America as they're climbing up these ladders to where they actually have this false feeling of ownership.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
But in corporate, they'll go harder. Like people have deferred. People do it every day. They're deferring their dreams because of this entitlement that they have to this false sense of ownership.
Exactly.
You know what's crazy though?
They go hard. Really, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say what she's saying is absolutely true. So we see it all the time. We're working with executive coaching clients and they're like, no, this is mine. I have to do this. It's my project. And they take so much ownership in it that they forget that I don't own any of this.
None of it.
I can be released from this place at any time. So
yeah. I love what you're doing with the ombre of the braid and the boot, how you pulled out all together. I see what you got going on.
And I didn't mean to come at your cross at all just earlier. Not a cross, because I was talking about crosses and I didn't. Hope you're not offended.
That says faith.
Oh, it says faith?
It says faith.
Okay, good.
In the shape of a cross. I get it. I don't know that I have ever.
I was going to say something to that point. Not that point, but
yeah, we climbing today.
So I think, so remember, well, maybe we don't remember, 50, 60, 70 years ago, people...
None of us remember that.
That's what I'm saying. Well, you're the closest. 50, 60, 70 years ago, right? People took great pride in doing their work. And it wasn't about owning the company or ownership. And people were happy.
Mm-hmm.
But now some people feel like they have to own something to be happy. Maybe because not because they want to own it, but because society nowadays is pushing ownership. Does everybody need to own something? I don't think so.
I don't know that I needed to own something necessarily. I don't know if that's my motivating factor. Now that I'm in ownership, I need to own stuff. Well, and no, I don't know that I pursued this path just to have ownership. I wanted control of my time. I wanted to live my life on my own terms. And that's what we're building every single day. Now, the more and more that I acquire, the truth is, the more I am learning that personal ownership is dangerous. You don't want personal ownership of much. Nothing, really. As much as you can relinquish to other entities, that's what you want to do. But it was never like, I just have to own. I really, truly was desperate to be in control of my own time.
Yeah, I really think you're right. I get it.
And I wanted to really like what I was doing. Like, even when I worked in corporate, I liked what I was doing, but it's difficult to stay in a place where you like what you're doing and you don't like the people that you're doing it with. And the people that you're doing it with are treating you unfair. So I started my first business out of corporate was my property management and luxury concierge service. I did that in addition to MLM at that time because I loved what I was doing in that space so much. But then as I grew into that, I realized I do like what I do, but there's still this time factor. And so what am I chasing here? And I realized it was to be in control of my time is what essentially does it for me. And that's why I now, when in building business, that's why I experience anxiety more than I ever have in life when I open my calendar and I've got all this stuff, especially stuff I didn't agree to or put on my calendar like somebody else did. And I'm like, what is all this stuff? I don't feel in control of my time.
That's real.
For me, that's what it is.
That's real. I don't want people that's watching this. You do not got to be the boss. It's actually stressful and it's a lot of anxiety. And if that's not something that you want for the sake of what makes you happy, because some jobs will make you happy. Because you don't got to think of what I need to do. Right now, we have to think of what time I need to do this, how I need to get it done, how often. When you go to a job, you know the job. You're there for a set amount of time. You know you're actually working a job in more control of your time than most entrepreneurs, because you know what you have to do from this time to this time, and you've got the rest of this day. You know this particular time frame, from 5 to 9 in the morning. You got the weekends to do whatever you want to do. So,
and some people are just lucky enough to. Some people really are. I remember the beginning stages of building my businesses where I'm like, yo, I could really just keep searching for the perfect job, because some people seem to be in a position where you're making the good money, you've got a great team around you, your leadership supports you and appreciates you, you know, they acknowledge you for special. Like, there are people who are in that place, and that is great. I just never, and I don't think for me, because the pathway that I was on in my corporate career just didn't bring me fulfillment. So not only was I looking for control over my time, I think I can spend more time in my business than I was comfortable spending in corporate America, because what I do now brings fulfillment. Like, I feel like my life means something. Yeah. That song that Beyonce released, when she released that song, I remember the first time I Was Here. The first time I heard that song, the first time I heard it, I was like, finally, somebody put how I feel about my life into words and into a song that's really catchy. That's how I felt. Like, I was thirsting for feeling like I would be left in somebody's history book.
That's real. That's real. That's good. I'm going to start pushing job ownership, man, because every store I go to, man, ain't nobody there to help me. That's going to be my new initiative. Get a job, man. On the Lowe's, nobody's around. Where are you guys at? Come help me. I need a sink.
Not everybody is meant to be an owner. I mean, we both employ people who technically have jobs, which is why I no longer promote jobs suck. I used to follow and say, why would you have a job? As an owner, you need people who desire to have a job.
100%. 100%. And if everybody, I mean, the world just can't operate off of everyone being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like, I really feel like what's pushing, and maybe we help this narrative, we're pushing entrepreneurship, and people in their mind, they think that's what I want. Because maybe your current position isn't what you want, but doing it on your own maybe really ain't what you want. So I think it's about finding out what makes you happy.
It's all about what makes you happy individually. There's even if you were to join somebody's membership group that was designed to help you discover what makes you happy, that thing for everybody would be something different. Yeah, for sure. And if you're in a group like that and they're suggesting that this thing is the only thing that can make you happy, get out of it. Because happiness for everybody is different.
Does burning sage make you happy?
Burning sage, first of all, I love the smell of it more than anything. I love the smell of sage.
I've never heard somebody talk about the smell of sage.
I love the smell of sage. I love to cook with sage. Like, sage in a home-cooked burger is a secret weapon, okay? Sprinkle a little sage.
So sage makes you happy?
Powder. I like sage, but I don't believe that I'm casting out demons when I walk around with sage. I literally, sometimes I just wake up on a Saturday or Sunday and I'm like, I'm feeling good. I'll turn on my frequency music. I got my sage going through. It's a ritual for me that means what I have intended it to mean.
That's crazy. Now I see you just.
I do. I'm like, hey, doing my little, but I actually, when I'm doing my sage, if this is my sage stick, I do this a lot because I really love the smell of it. And because of its healing properties, that's what I'm into.
Cool. That's good. Are we done?
We are done. We are out of here.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel. This episode is sponsored by, I don't got a long one, themorningmeetup.com. It's already the most amazing community you'll ever be a part of. So go to themorningmeetup.com, see what it's about. I want to talk to you. I'll talk to you every day. Monday through Friday, I'll talk to you every single day. Just try it out, themorningmeetup.com. Donni.
Yep. Episode is also brought to you by Post to Paid and Six Figure Accelerator. Post to Paid is for entrepreneurs in the in any service-based industry that provides a transformation. If you're struggling to post content online, you don't know what to say in your captions, you don't feel like it's working or connecting or converting into cash, Post-it paid is where you want to be. And to join that, you can text 404-737-2767. It's only $37 a month. And then also Six Figure Accelerator. For those of you who are want to break into the information world, you want to figure out how our coaches and course creators and consultants suddenly making multiple six figures, seven figures even, then Six Figure Accelerator is where I help to develop you as a coach, consultant, or course creator from scratch. sixfigureedu.com, the word six, S-I-X, figureedu.com. And lastly, you guys know by now that David and I have created a brand new podcast segment called the Brain Picker Podcast. The Brain Picker Podcast. It is super lit, and we are helping people in real time in front of a live audience with whatever area they need help in, specifically in their business. We both basically coach for 1 hour on this podcast about whatever it is that you want to talk about professionally. And through it, we've been able to help people create some success very quickly already. It's not even been 2 months that we've been in with Brain Picker Podcast, and we've got people who have made a lot of money, gained a lot of followers, got clarity in their business models, and accomplished what it was that they needed to accomplish.
Facts.
How do they get the information?
Go to brainpickerpodcast.com. Simple. Go to brainpickerpodcast.com. All right. So make sure you share this podcast with someone. Okay. Don't keep good stuff to yourself. Okay. Whether it's Social Proof Podcast or Brain Picker Podcast, just share it with somebody. All right. So we gotta get out of here, right?
We gotta go to the bank. We got some monies to handle.
There it is. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Bye.